Hello friends, my name is Prasanna Gadkari and today I am going to speak a bit about different methods of creativity. Now, if you have attempted any of the old CEED papers or NID paper, you will realize that certain questions actually allocate marks to how creative your idea is. And typically in the heat of the exam, whether you will get creative ideas or not is typically a question that people ask. In order to answer this question, I will speak about my favorite method, which is the attribute method. There are many methods of creativity such as brainstorming, scamper, uh, and there are a lot of applications for these different methods. However, you should realize that methods such as brainstorming are called unstructured methods, and these methods do not always yield an idea that you can use in the exam. However, the method which I am going to speak about today is called the attribute method, and it specifically generates the solution that are around some sort of structure. What we are going to do is we are going to list down a set of attributes or the properties of the given subject and then try to see how creatively we can use that property. For the demonstration, I am going to take the exercise in which I am going to generate 101 ideas for an old CD. I have listed all the 101 ideas on the TickUp blog and you can visit them in the link which is given below in the description. Coming to the point, the attribute method works in this way that you list down all possible attributes of the subject in hand and then you think about a creative solution for the problem using that particular attribute. Instead of rambling about how to use the attribute method, let me give you a quick demonstration for this same problem which I spoke about. I hope that you will see the example soon. As a demonstration, I am going to show a very simple problem that what are the different uses of a bunch of old discarded CDs. Now let me start this exercise by first writing CD in the center, maybe even sketching a CD just for the sake of it. And let's start discussing that what are the different uses for such CD. But before that, we will list down the attributes. Attributes are nothing but the properties. So, for example, what is the first property that comes to your mind when you think about a compact disc? That could be that it's circular in shape. So, let's write that down, that a compact disc is circular in shape. The next one that comes to your mind is that it is reflective. The third one could be that it has got a fixed diameter. And you can even list other properties such as a compact disc typically is made up of plastic. Then you can further say that a compact disc um, has a fixed volume. You can even remember that it has got a hole in the center and so on. Now, I will restrict myself to only these 6 attributes, but you can get as creative as you want. And this is simply a demonstration of this method. So let me just think about what are the different ideas that I can think only based on these 6 attributes. And because this is a demonstration of this technique, you can list much more than these. Now, for example, when I talk about circular, I can remember that what all are the applications of a circular piece. One of the things I can think about is that you can use CD or an old discarded CD, paint some numbers on it and make a clock out of it. So this becomes my first application of the attribute that CD is circular in shape. Probably I can think about another application that smileys are another things that are circular in shape, and probably I can create smileys by painting the CDs yellow in color and probably by putting some eyes and nose and probably a mouth on it and make smileys out of it, and they will really look good in my room. Further, I can think about that what is circular? Compass are circular. So I can just paint north, south, east, west on a CD. or an old CD, and I can put a magnetic needle in the center, and it can behave like a compass for me. So as you can see, you can list creative ideas such as this. Now comes the next part, which is that compact discs are reflective. I can use the reflectiveness to create a disco ball. So by putting a lot of CDs together, I can make a circular form of it, and like when light reflects on it, it will be a very nice addition to a party room, maybe a disco room. Um, Further, I can think about that because birds are typically scared of reflective objects, it can make a good scarecrow. Now, if I think about the fixed diameter part, I can make wheels for a toy car. I can create rollers. Also, I think that fixed diameter can be used to create an abacus. So, like you have a number of CDs on a string or a rope, and I can use them instead of beads. I have abacus that is made up of CDs, and so on. Maybe I can even cross attributes such as hole in the center with abacus. But well, because the fixed diameter part came first to me, it stays. Now comes the volume part. So I can use number of CDs for weight, so they would form like give me like 100 CDs worth of rice would be a nice way to use that volume. Maybe the weight also could be one of the attributes. So let me say that weight and volume are very similar attributes. So I can use the weight over here and say that they are like a unit of measurement for me. I can use the volume to fill up say empty space, and probably I'm packing something and I need to like fit that thing exactly into the box, so I can use uh, the CDs as a packing material, and so on. So this is how I use the volume of the CD. And the plastic attribute I can use in a number of ways. One of the easiest way I can do is that because most of the plastics have a fixed melting point, I can always melt down a CD and check at what temperature it melts, and I can use it as a temperature gauge. So I can say that the at this temperature the CD has molten, so this would be the temperature of this object, and so on. So I can actually use the plastic attribute to measure the temperature. Now, if you see the kind of ideas that are generated using just this six attribute, you can see some of them are really quite creative and innovative. In your CEED examination or NID examination, you can see that if you have ideas like these, people will be really surprised, or even they will think that you actually have a lot of creativity in you. And by putting these ideas on paper, you will score maximum marks for creativity. While as ideas such as clock, the disco, wheel, roller are something that will be commonly seen in the exam, but these ideas are something that are really creative and innovative. So I suggest that use your attribute method first. It takes about 5 minutes. So in last 6 minutes, we are able to generate these many ideas, and some of them are really good. So you can use this attribute method to actually create a lot of ideas. Now, the best part about using attribute method is that they will guaranteedly give you at least one or two good ideas against the brainstorming, which doesn't do that. Alright, I hope that the example is clear to you. In case you have any further comments or questions, you can always write to me in the comments below, or you can always email me. All my guidance is completely free of cost, and I have guided a number of students like yourself to get into IITs and NIDs. I hope that this video finds useful and you will be able to use the attribute method in your upcoming examination. I hope you have a great day ahead. Thank you.